I feel hopeless, alone, cheated. Society ignores me. It's common practice to pretend not to witness the suffering. This isn't my story though. Today, we'll be looking at the Sidewalk prophet, Myron. He'll tell his story himself.
It's definitely very noticeable. I see it every day when I'm walking down the streets of class. There's always people asking for money and stuff. You know, I feel kind of bad about it, but at the same time, I can't really do anything to fix it myself.
It's really unfortunate. Like walking around the city, I always get like, I never know if I should make eye contact, and like I feel really bad when I don't have anything to contribute to them.
I think it's really complicated. I think that just like there's a whole lot going on that I think that people don't understand about people who are in those situations, and I think that people who end up being homeless, it's not always their fault. Like sometimes it's like a landlord's choice, or it's because they can't be employed, or because some kind of health issue that they have that no one's going to hire them because they might need too many benefits.
There's levels to homelessness. The levels are simply where you could see a person that has, I sleep on the couch here, or I'm at my girl's house here, but you're not paying a mortgage, or you don't own, your dwelling, your abode. You're homeless, in my opinion. The new homelessness isn't always the guy the guy that's pushing the shopping cart. That's dead. It happens. I do it, but that's dead. There are people walking around that you will never suspect that aren't exposing their deprivation or their adversity. I took the opportunity to expose mine for a reason. And that reason was simply because I write. And the fact of the matter that I write, and having nothing else, and relying on nothing else but this God-given talent, no crime, no selling dope, no hustling, no this, no that, and the third, which I'm very, very familiar with. I took the incentive to just step out and say, hey, I'm in this situation. I could rent a room every week. I could sleep at this girl's house, that girl's house, but no, I want my own. I want to be established. And this is just the price I'm paying. This embarrassment to some, this shame to others, it's the price I'm paying. But in my opinion, it doesn't define me. What defines me is my pain. I have so much pain from society that agitated me in my demise, in my deprivation, dealing with society and the circumstances. It aggravated me to say, well, this brother walked by me and put his head down. This person, this Caucasian or European brother walked by me and shook his head. But yet and still, you tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, you want a sandwich? I don't give money, but I'll give you a sandwich.
I feel really bad when I don't have anything to contribute to them. So like whenever I can, I try to give them like leftover food or extra change.
A guy on the L asked for $1 or so to get something to eat, and I gave him all the change I had in my pocket.
I just gave him some leftovers. I don't really have much money to give, so.
Hunger isn't my problem. My problem is an economical situation where I cannot generate enough economics to pay rent, affordable housing. So what you're doing for me is really a Band-Aid gift. The help is adamant. He bought him something to eat. That's good. But it's not help at all. Because at 2 and 3 in the morning, when I have to answer the call of nature, where do I do that at? I shit in the alley and blame it on a dog. Real talk. I read something and it gave me a thought. It said, and I said that no one can take my self-respect from me unless I give it away. I can't do that, bro. If it's 40 below, I'm out there. If you don't believe in anything, a higher creator, you will then. You will then. If you never had a brush with anything spiritual, my man, you will then, because it's 20 below zero. 20 below zero. Every trick, put your feet in plastic bags and works in reverse. Plastic bags make the feet sweat. Your feet freeze. I've had frostbitten hands, frostbitten toes. I've slept next to people that didn't wake up the next morning. Lord Whacker. And I was able to walk away from that. Why I didn't, maybe it's because I prayed before I went to, I don't know. But the fight, the struggle, you learn how to elevate. It's like survive, it's not like, it is, bro. You learn how to not sleep on the concrete because it's cold. To elevate yourself to a certain pitch because you're not on the ground, and then you're not at level for rats. I've actually had rats, rodents, after eating caramel in my beard, actually crawl up on my face. A lot of the charities that people give to, overly funded, they're not helping us. They're not helping us. Charities get so much donated anyway, so here's the overcap for the underlay. People are donating money instead of giving it to the actual individual. And I read that in a book about Karl Marx, which he stated that if people would help each other in society on a one-on-one basis, it would be a better dwelling. There are restaurants all around the loop that give food to Catholic charities. Catholic charities issues the food to us. People donate clothes to Catholic charities. Catholic charities donate the clothes to us. People donate money to Catholic charities. Catholic charities don't donate that money to us, though. You see what I'm saying? And it's an economical problem because we cannot generate, when I say we, basically we cannot generate enough money to pay rent. Here it is. Let me give you a very vivid example. It's 20 below zero wintertime. I have to be in the shelter at 6 o'clock. I'm in the shelter by 7. Mind you, maybe 200 to 300 people got turned away. There are 500 people within this structure, within this building. Out of 500 people, there may be 300 to 400 people with serious mental issues. Serious mental issues. I'm talking about people that stand in the shower with their clothes on. Serious mental issues. We're in here just to get out of the cold. I'm in here. At 5 in the morning, I'm waking up and I'm given a cold bowl of oatmeal. These are the conditions. A cold bowl of oatmeal, a donated donut from a Dunkin' or whatever the case may be, and I'm pushed back out by 6 in the morning, the next morning. So you have maybe 200 to 300 people standing in front of this place, wondering what the hell they finna do for the next day. Now imagine what goes on inside of the institution, which I choose to call it. I've actually seen people get their throats slit. Shelters are more, I've actually seen people get raped. I've actually seen people get robbed, drug use, intravenous drug use. Shelters, in my opinion, and I've done 12 prison bids, nothing violent, but narcotics, selling drugs. But I've been to the penitentiary 12 times, and out of the 12 times I've been to the prison, I've never been in a place more violent than shelters. See, society has this thing now where I've discovered that it's common practice to ignore suffering. You see me, I see you. It's not your fault, no. But let's say fuck the fault, fuck that. I'm there. He's a human being. He's there. He's a human being. Bro, what can I do to help you? Check your morality. Check yourself. You flawed it to a degree. Because there's no conditions on morality. There's no conditions on true love. We're human beings. I am 99.9% the same, equal as any other individual with two legs. Check your morality. If you're putting conditions on your help, that's not true help. Just say, I want to do something for you today. Don't say you're helping me. People have used the cup, the whole homeless thing for their addiction, but it's bigger than that. If you're suffering from addiction, help is available. But that all stems in society's whims. It's a social ill. I feel that society within itself, this city is responsible for over 7,000 people that are sleeping on the streets. You're responsible. Don't warehouse us.
In my sight, I don't think the city is really working enough to deal with it, the problem, because like for me, myself personally, I suffer from paranoid schizophrenia. And recently, a few years ago, they had closed down a lot of mental health facilities and pretty much put them out here on the streets. So you might see a lot of guys that's out here that's doing certain behaviors that's not normal, you know what I'm saying, because they suffer from some sort of mental illness, you know what I mean? And because they don't have nowhere to go because they didn't close down all the mental health facilities. And the city's not working together with people to try to ease the homelessness. You know, they say they are, but like you sign up for an apartment, you get on the waiting list, you might be on the waiting list 4 or 5 years. The city needs to do a little more because I've seen myself personally a lot of taxpayer dollars being wasted on, like, for example, I saw yesterday at the Clark station, the Clark CTA station yesterday, I seen a lot of police officers in there, which was to me was like wasted manpower because that city taxpaying dollars got to pay them to be there. For what purpose they was there for, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's the CTA. Why was they all there? You know what I mean? We got other crimes going on in the city, but they was all posted up in the CTA in the Thompson building yesterday. And the Thompson building is a state building, so they already got the state police there around the clock, so they don't need CPD to be there. What's put in? I mean, people don't owe me nothing. You know what I mean? If they help, it's appreciative. You know, I thank God that they do have a heart to help me out. You know what I mean? To give me something to eat, things of that nature. I accept whatever they give me. Some people give me leftovers. Whatever they hand me, I accept it. I have never turned nothing away from nobody. You know, it doesn't matter what they give me. I'm not a picky person.
In reality, when you dominate one spot and stand on one spot, you're meeting people frequently. And this opens the door for you to meet someone that could possibly help you change your life. But if you're jumping around from spot to spot, you can't say, you're literally you're missing out. So like, since I've been on LaSalle, I've met judges, lawyers, businessmen, corporate people, entrepreneurs that have been totally helpful. You know, we're in the heart of the financial district, so it's a good chance of gain. And I stood there because I pretty much liked the reception of the people. They were more warm, you know, they were smiling, speaking every morning, good morning. I see you here every morning, I don't mean any harm. Would you like some coffee? It eased the tension. They knew I wasn't aggressive. They knew I didn't have mental issues, you know, from what they could tell. And we began to share, and it started friendships. And that's what it's about, because people don't know how to approach people. They're scared. They really, nah, I'm not gonna be bothered with that, you know. I'll give them $1 and keep moving, or I'll offer a sandwich and keep moving, you know, and it's more to it than that. You know what I mean? People want to help, and in some cases I give them that they don't know how. And the thing is, people are so closed captioned, they don't get out to know who they're walking by every morning.
He stands on the corner, I work in the building. You know, I mean, everybody's a person to me. It don't matter what you do, you know. He's a nice person. I see him every day. I see him multiple times a day. You just say hello. He knows Cedric and Ernest, the guys that work in the building. We're all just one family. It don't matter if I work at Jimmy John's or in the building or I stand on the corner. We're all here to do the same thing, right? Survive. He's trying, you know. I mean, he's writing a book. I mean, I see a sign. He's trying to put it, you know, trying to do something better. For the most times when I see a homeless person, they're just sitting there. They're just shaking a cup. They're not doing anything. Why am I compelled to help you? You're not trying to help yourself. He's at least trying to help himself. So if I can help him, we got an extra sandwich or something, it's gonna go in the garbage, my guy, you know? I mean, he's trying. That's all we can do, right? If everyone would just treat everyone else with respect, whether you have a job, whether you're rich, you're poor, black, white, yellow, it don't matter. We respect each other, everything will take care of itself. I've always found that the nicer you are to people, the easier things are.
Walking down the street, my bag was open. He goes, "Your bag's open." Found out I lost my phone, so that was when I first met him. And I met Myron, and I used to live right over here, but I moved a couple months ago, so I used to see him all the time. Now I come down maybe once a week, and if he's here, I say hello. In the middle of this time knowing Myron, I read a book called Evicted about Minneapolis homelessness and and it made me more aware, so I try to Myron is my touch tone right now, and so hopefully I help out more because of that book I read, but I try to.
Don't keep giving me the fish. Show me how to fish, bro. I have friends that live in Trump Towers. Honestly, I have people that I've met that are willing to say, well, I'll get you an apartment or a room for X amount of time. But how long is that going to suffice? How long can I lean on this individual? And time is of the essence, because I have a friend named Bob Foster who I will kill a brick about. He got me a place. Gave me the money, cash, walked to the bank, gave me the cash money. I got a room. I rented a room. It was so much weight on me and pressure to find some type of economical means to keep this going on my own now. And I don't want that type of pressure, because it made me think about selling drugs again. It made me think about criminal activity again. I mean, seriously. Like, bro, I need to talk to you, with my big homies. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's in my life, I have got to get this. I have got to find the means to where I can establish enough economical money to pay for my own expenses, to write my own. Beautiful. I've been out of the country at 7 years old. I can't relate to pork and beans or baking soda only in the refrigerator. My adopted parents, well, I was what they call a throwaway baby. I was left in the hospital, seven days old, and my adopted woman, my mother, Frances Louise Shepard, gave me everything. My mother told me, you are a poor black boy's dream. Don't you ever forget it. She instilled that in me. And from a young age, my life was just beautiful. Carefree, careless. I never wanted for anything. I was actually hated because of that. You know, a lot of fights. I got to learn how to fight because of that, you know. And not to say that I'm halfway attractive, you know. So growing up, it was from a perspective of family. Oh man, I was flooded. I was spoiled as a child. You know, I was one of those kids, to sum it up, that I got suspended. When I came back off suspension, I had on new gym shoes, new Nikes. So, you know, everybody hated that. But, you know, I had a beautiful life as a child. I've been to Canada, Hawaii, like I said, out of the country. Travel, music, sports, especially music, faith. You know, I grew up in the church. It was choir rehearsal on Wednesday. I played ball with the guys from the church on Wednesday. All throughout the week, there were different things that, you know, Christ Tabernacle, Missionary Baptist Church, and first and foremost, under the leadership of the late, great Reverend Milton Brunson. I was a son to him. I was a leader in the church as far as the youth was concerned. A junior deacon. I would open up devotion before service started. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. I played the drums, a little bit of piano, played by ear, but everything was centered around church, around principle. And when I detoured, people were shook. It broke their heart. The cause was simply pain to find out that I was adopted, I think I felt betrayed. And I get kind of emotional about that because I long to know who my mom, my biological mother is. And that is I held grudges against my family for a long time about that because I felt you lied to me, and I was told by an enemy during an argument. And it was painful, you know, growing up to say like, I'm not a Shepard. I'm not, what? You know? And it hurt, you know, and I began to rebel. And to soothe that pain, I began to use, you know, narcotics at that time. My advice would really be to someone that's dealing with addiction. Do not lie to yourself. When you think that people don't know, they know. If you want anything better than your current situation or your current demise, you have to clean up. You have to get that out of there. It is not going to do an addiction. I don't care what it is or what level or how you chalk it up and separate it in classes and hard drugs, soft drugs, anything that alters the mind, that alters this thinking. To alter his thinking is not meant for humans. Something like he referred to it as David in the Psalms, you know, and it was kind of compliment, impressive to me. So I said, well, you know, I don't know much about putting anything in chapter. I just write, bro. So he's like, well, he explained to me the whole aspect of musings and limitations. And we put it together, and this was the outcome of musings, which is my favorite chapter. The epics of the day make me so displaced. There's a yearning within, a push from the huddle. As things fall, I grant such power in God's pull. I touch and pretend that I'm wanted, that success has finally found me attractive, and the earth is no longer my bed. But who said that the tomb isn't real? I'm before my time in everything, even death. Fact is, I died long ago, ever since I laid upon the earth, ever since my eye glanced towards heaven and I fell asleep in hell. When one tends to do good, evil should always be expected. The monotonous boop always causes some sort of divine situation trite. Instantly, circumstance propels results, and the results tend to be bogus. But nevertheless, these everyday endeavors depend upon the reality of past events. As a fortress within the shadows, our main objective is to live life more abundantly. With the knowledge of self, one could achieve the unachievable. One may rise to a plateau of excellence uninvited. But be as it may, the notion of certainty rests upon the shoulders of doubt. The steadfast motives would give the strongest conviction of what is and what will be. Sometimes God can be a secret admirer. He gives us all types of things, and we don't realize they came from him. At some point, we ask ourselves, where did these things come from? But we don't think of him. We must know that an admirer is just that. And who could be a greater admirer than God? Make sure you thank the Almighty Admirer, because in his admiration, there's life. I've seen people be held in states of deprivation. The many levels of it makes people victims. It tends to oppress those written off as social fools, meaning that society has placed a constraint upon these individuals to keep us held. To break free is most sought at, while the journey has become a difficult, pessimistic thing. We employ our weight and the weight of our actions, misguided, looking for fulfillment. The things of comfort are of no use. General interpretation of no merit. And anything binding is of no substance. Standing at the forefront of life, one has options. And all that has been will cease to be. The funds that I received, when I had hard copies, I'd sell a book, my hard copies, I'd sell for $30 a pop. Softbacks were going for 20. People loved it. It was a test drive at first. The funds that I received from the books go on my daily expenses. Eating, a room for the week, if possible. Because it's more of a, through Steve McKenzie, man, my brother, my Caucasian brother, I love this dude, Steve McKenzie, who I met, which I call my publisher. He walked by, he saw me, he's like, man, what are you writing every day? I gave it to him, he read it, and he's like, man, you gotta get published, bro. And you know, it brought tears to his eyes, my writing. So from there it took off and it stemmed. Now there was a lot, I'm fighting the fight. I'm still sleeping in 20 below, doing what I gotta do. But during the process, I'm utilizing the money. Well, I had to sacrifice because he asked me, did I want to take the money? We had a goal to reach $7,000. We reached $5,000. And Steve asked me, do you want any of this money to get off the streets right now, and we'll still do the GoFund another 30 days? And I said, Steve, from the bottom of my heart, I don't want a dime. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm a survivor. Keep that money and make it and have it to go where it's supposed to go, to that book. And then the rest will suffice. That was just my faith. He wanted to cash me out many times. I told him no, because I felt that if he cashed me out, okay, that was beautiful. I'd have got through it, you know, through that month or whatever. But then what about the future of my book? So the book, the funds that I receive, I give some of the funds to him, but right now we're working, and in the beginning, this is how it was going. I'd chop half with him to put back into the book, and I'd keep the half for my expenses, you know, and it's all up to me if I can handle it. If I'm feeling under pressure, I can immediately get a room or for the week. And I rented a room for a week, but I want my own. I want a home. You know what I'm saying? I want a mortgage. I want a home, bro. You know, the price of living, man, is extremely unaffordable to me. Inaffordable to me. I remember a day when I can get a studio apartment for $400 a month. You know, with no security deposit. No security deposit. You know, now a studio apartment is what, $600-700, man? Give me 2 months security? Are you serious? Where am I gonna generate that type of money from? You see, that's the stem. So I ride in between, and just to save face, the book is just sufficing. I'm doing better in a sense, but I'm the only obstacle that I haven't gotten over is just literally sleeping outside. I gotta tell the world, man, I gotta leave it etched in stone. And not just on a simple fact of pain or hardship or street, on other levels. I must evolve as a writer.